Now, Sports on 6.
It's rivalry night on the college basketball floor. Welcome into sports. I'm Mason Kern. The vitriol between Creighton and Nebraska's fan base is very much real, although Husker fans would argue come football season, they mostly root for a common cause. No Huskers in the building at PBA tonight. Nebraska is undefeated and looking to stay that way. Creighton trying to get on the right track. Rink Mast and the Huskers, they're going to be a tough out at home. Jamarcus Lawrence gets the Big Red going in the right direction. His three puts Nebraska up 8 early in the half. The Huskers build up a 13-point lead before Isaac Trout finally stops the bleeding. The Grand Island native cans from distance. Deficit still 10. Half winding down, Huskers up 9. Sam Hoiberg finds Mast, who buries his own 3. He leads all scorers with 20 tonight. They continue that momentum in the second half. Price Stanford pump fakes, drives, and hits the floater. 13 for the Iowa transfer. Creighton trying to claw its way back. Austin Schwartz leads the Jays with 16 tonight, but it's not close to enough. Hoiberg drives baseline, draws the and one. Greg McDermott calls him the difference in this one. Nebraska wins big 71-50.
I did think our guys went out there and played with tremendous energy and toughness for the entire 40 minutes. You know, we've shown stretches, we've shown flashes, but tonight I really thought we were on point with our defensive intensity.
We had a great week of prep going into this game, and if you have that long off, you had to come out sluggish, you come out ready to go, and I thought we came out great.
And I'm not really concerned about our opponents right now. Like, there's just so many things we have to get better at. I've got to hold some guys to higher standards on a few things, and that's, at the end of the day, that's on me.